She really embodies what a cowgirl is. The woman with grit, the woman with determination and hard work, and a lot of attitude.
I think Gay's just got boundless energy. I mean, it's incredible how many things she does so well.
When you look at innovation and creativity, let's do things that have never been done before and never been seen before, which makes her extremely successful.
I have a phrase that my father taught me that says, meet people where they are. You've got to go where people are. You've got to be relevant. You've got to put yourself out there and go for it, because no one's just going to come to you, I graduated from the University of Texas in 1977. I had art skills, and I could draw and I could write. So I got in the advertising business, but it was a man's world. And so I was the first woman hired in a role like I had at the advertising agency I worked for in Dallas. It was a bit intimidating, I must admit, but I loved it and I really loved the business. The awful, terrible thing that was going on was that we were in a very, very deep recession. And Texas was particularly hurt during this time. Everything was just going downhill, and I saw the agency that I was working for just flailing and losing business and clients, and it was just laying people off. And so I wrote a business plan, and I came up with a new idea on what I thought the agency should look like.
She takes out a loan during a deep depression, and she starts a business from the ground up with $16,000 to become the most successful female-owned advertising agency.
I had to sell really hard to get people interested in what some little agency was going to do for them. I just could not fail. Failure was not an option for me. And I did everything I could to make sure that our clients were getting the best work so they'd keep paying us and hiring us to do things. T3 stands for the think tank, T3. And it was our approach and how we would look at anything, any opportunity, anything a client would come up with, we would put it in a think tank session. And we would just throw everything on the wall and say, any idea is good. We're just gonna open this up. And then at the end, you kind of funnel it all down and you come up with, wow, here's 3 directions we can go in. And they all have to be good. And that was really the secret to T3, was we would look ahead and find ways to create things that no one had done before. We would delight clients with solutions and with options that they didn't even ask for. And that became our hallmark. And again, here we were at the time starting off a regional agency in Texas. And to be able to have some of those firsts were really pretty remarkable. We won 2 National Addy Awards in the first 3 years that we were in business.
I think through T3, Gay created a culture that encouraged innovation and creative thinking. And so as a result of that, there are many examples in digital marketing, in loyalty brands, and in branding itself. There are many examples that you can tie back to Gay's early days in those fields.
Nothing replaces the hard work. And you've got to live it every day. And boy, did I live it every day. I worked harder than anybody in the company, and I never missed a beat. Sometimes I didn't feel like it. Sometimes I was sick. Sometimes I couldn't move forward, but I always did. Because I said, if I can do it, you can. And we did the hard work. When you do hard work and you really put in the time to perfect what you're doing, which it takes time and hard work and curiosity, then you become competent. When you're in the thick of running a business and growing it and surviving and thriving and doing everything you have to do, you don't really realize sometimes what's going on. And at one point, I was asked by several groups to come speak and tell my story about what it was like to be a woman who built a business from the ground up.
She started a mentorship program here at the university where she's taking young women to the next level in their careers to show them all their potential and what they can do.
I'm very excited about coming back to the UT campus after all these years to co-teach a class with a good friend of mine who's also another Hall of Fame award winner, Lynn Utter, and talk real talk with women who want to really catapult their careers. And so we want to give them the tools, the confidence, the strategies, the techniques to get this done.
I think people will want to remember Gay as someone who gave as much as she received. I think Gay has contributed to the arts. She's contributed to charity and to nonprofits. She's built a great company that survives and succeeds today. And she's a woman entrepreneur at a time when the world needs success stories among women entrepreneurs in order to encourage others to take the same path.
And really, I think when it comes down to it, she wants to share her life lessons, what she's learned, the trials, the failures, the successes, and she wants other people to adapt them, which is beautiful.
For her innovation in the advertising industry and providing mentorship to professional women everywhere, Gaddis is worthy of the McCombs Hall of Fame.